Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. You can tell I'm struggling today already. We are live after 5 a.m., right, Kimberly? Whoop, whoop. And I am with my quietest class of the day, but they are great listeners. Is that correct? Okay. So even though they're quiet, they're great listeners. So today we're talking about see-through. Have you guys ever had problems with an image before? Maybe it just stored. You ever dragged it and then it looked pixelated like this? How does this giraffe look from back there? Pixelated and blurry. Okay. It probably looks better back there where Elijah is because he's 30 feet away from the board. It actually looks better back there. It looks worse right here where Allie's sitting. Are you with me on that? Okay. Now, this is kind of cool. Do you guys remember we did binary last week? Okay. Remember we talked about every single one of these blocks takes how many bytes and bits does it take to represent each one of these little boxes, which we call what? What's a box called? What is each one of these little squares called? A pixel, right? What does pixel stand for? Pixel stands for picture element. Okay, so if you take picture, P-I-C, element, E-L, and you abbreviate it, I guess they didn't want the P-I-C in there and they came up with P-I-X-E-L, pixel. So what is a pixel? A picture element. What is a picture element? It's basically the building brick of an image. You take all these little bricks and you stack them together and you get a building, right? So if we take all these little blocks and we block them together, guess what we get? We get an image, okay? So today this giraffe looks terrible, right? And last week we learned that how many bytes or bits does it take to represent one pixel? Not 8 bits, it takes 3 bits. Remember, RGB represents every one of those blocks. So I want to make sure you guys are kind of aware of this real quick. Let's go over here. Let's pause the tape. All right, we're back and we're live. So let's just say we have an image on here. Oh, I wonder if I can drag one of these. That would be cool if I could. What just happened? There we go. Yeah, let's drag one of these. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so this is a great representation of pixels. Are you guys with me on that? We could pretend that every one of these blocks right here are pixels. Okay. By the way, what is a pixel? So pixel, P-I-X-E-L, is one of these, right? And that is a representation of a picture. Ooh, that was awful. Why am I going so slow? Picture element. Okay, now let's tie this all together with the lesson that we did last week, right? We did binary code. And in binary code, we talked about memory. And in memory, we talked about bits and bytes. So what you have to do is in every single one of these boxes, you have to put in an RGB value. And do you guys remember that every one of these went from 0 to 255? So you got 0 to 255 in the red, 0 to 255 in the blue, and you have 0 to 255 in the green. Every one of these blocks gets 3 bytes of memory. Are you with me on that? So how many boxes do we have here? Who can count them up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. So our columns is equal to 8. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is rows is equal to 8. Who can do the math on that? How many pixels do we have? So we have 64 pixels, right? Are you going to be able to do a real detailed image in this? If I just colored in the boxes with this? Okay, let's go back and look at the giraffe. The giraffe's got a lot more pixels in it, right? But it's still pixelated, right? Okay, what about this box here? You think we could get a real accurate picture in this box? No, because there's not very many pixels. There's only 64 pixels. So how much memory would this take up? 64 times 3 bytes would be 180, 204. Okay, I would need 204 bytes of memory for this. That's a 4. Okay. No, that's not right. I did the math wrong. It's going to be 64 times 3. That's 180, and 3 times 4 is 12. That's 192. Okay. So you need 192 bytes just to represent this little tiny 68 by 8 picture. You with me? An 8 by 8, by the way, an 8 by 8 is probably what they made Pac-Man out of. Remember Pac-Man, those old school games? Okay, these are real generic, and this is why Pac-Man, remember when they all look blocky? Pac-Man, and look at Galaga. Remember Galaga, the fighter ship in Galaga looks really blocky? That's because they were probably using 16-bit. So it's probably 16 times 16, which is what, 256? So you got 256 pixels times 3. That's not even, 1,000. So that's why the images back then weren't very good. Now, today, what's happening to our TVs? These pixels are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and we can put more and more and more in the dots per square inch. Okay? So your TVs today are PSI. Does anybody know what PSI stands for? PSI stands for pixels per square inch. And if we take a square inch, and if I can put 1,000 pixels in a square inch, is that going to be better than 10 pixels in a square inch? Yeah. If I get 10,000 in a square inch, is that going to be better? Yeah. Now you're getting little tiny squares in there, and you color in every one of those squares, you're going to get a better image of your giraffe. Are you with me on that? Who's understanding this so far? Okay, so today is just basically a Gimp tutorial day, and we brought it back into last week just a little bit. So what we're going to do today, and let me take you to where we're going tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going into Sprite Smash. Has anyone ever played Whack-A-Mole before? Okay, so Whack-A-Mole, we're going to have a sprite bouncing around the screen. Okay, so, and this is what I want to do today just to kind of refresh this lesson and make it a little bit more enjoyable. We're going to go make a super duper really quick app. All right, let's go into here, and if you guys want, you could call it we could start 1.1.7 Sprite Smash. Okay. Okay, there's my old app. Projects, start a new project. We're going to call it Sprite Smash. 1_1_7, period 1, quarter 4, 2017. Okay, I'm going to make a really quick super duper app here, okay? All we're going to do is put in a canvas, width and height fill parent, and I'm going to put a sprite image on there. That's it. That's all we're doing. Okay? All we're doing is going to put on a canvas and a sprite. Why do we have to have a canvas? If we want the sprite to move, do we have to have a canvas? Yeah. Okay, without a canvas, the sprite doesn't move. The canvases are basically your XY coordinate holder. And then we're going to make this sprite. Who played Whack-A-Mole before? Who understands Whack-A-Mole? Okay, how do you play Whack-A-Mole? Yeah. Yeah, and how do you know where it's going to pop up next? No, so it randomly pops up on the page. We're going to have a sprite randomly move around the page. Okay? So to illustrate what we're going to do today is we're going to do some GIMP work. This is mainly a GIMP tutorial today. So we're just going to relax and do some GIMPing in here. So let's go get your favorite sports character, because most sports characters have background images. I don't care what image you go get as long as it's clean. If you want to get a pop star, rock star, your favorite singer, you can go do whatever you want. I'm going to go get the golfer who just won the Masters this weekend. His name is Sergio Garcia. This will be in honor of him because he played the most he played in the most major tournaments without ever winning. He played in 72 majors without ever winning a tournament. And guess what? He won the 73rd one. Isn't that incredible? So, let's go get an image of Sergio. You guys can go get whoever you want. LeBron James. So I like this one here. Okay, this is like a full body shot of Sergio. I'm going to go to View Image. You always want to go to View Image so you get the best possible view, right? Okay. The best possible image. I'm going to right click, Save Image As. And once we start saving images, what should we always create when we're saving our images? We need to create a folder. So let's go back into Q4 folder. And I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call it 1.1.6 see-through, because that's the name of our activity today. Okay. I go into 1.1.6. I save Sergio. Justin Rose. Yeah, Justin Rose missed a putt, and Sergio won. So I'm glad he won because, man, the guy's played 72 majors and never won a major. And he's been an awesome pro for years. So this is in honor of Sergio winning. Okay, so let's go. Now we could go to the Masters golf course. Have you guys ever seen the Masters golf course? Yeah, it's going to be my background. So you go in here, and this is like one of the prettiest. This is like one of the prettiest golf holes ever, right here. Okay. So I messed up a little bit there. Let's go back. And Masters golf course. See photos. Augusta National. So let me go in here and go to Augusta National. Did you mean Augusta National Images? Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I could just do something like this. Just do a map. Yeah, that's cool. Or maybe I could just get like the logo. That'd be cool. Yeah, that's cool. The Masters tournament. Let's just do something like this. Okay, so there's my Masters tournament. I'm going to go to View Image, right click, save the image as, save it into your folder, done. Okay, so my canvas is going to get my background image. That's going to be my flag to say that he won. (16:4) see through. There it is. Okay, so now let's go into my image sprite. We normally make our image sprites like what? 36 by 36, something like that. We'll go, he's got to be taller than he is wide. So he's 48 by 36. Okay. So now I'm going to go put Sergio in here. Image. And I want you guys to tell me what's wrong with this. Is this going to look good? Why not? Ben? Yeah. It's not. Do you have a canvas on there? You got to have a canvas first, and then on the canvas you put an image sprite. Okay, let's make him a little bit bigger so we can see him right now. 96 by 48. Okay. So do you guys see that, you know, if you don't want this guy bouncing around because he has a background image to him. Are you guys with me on that? So what we want to do today is open this guy in Gimp. So you want to go back to your folder. Nope. I want to go back to my folder. Where is my folder at? Okay, now I'm going to right click on this guy. This is the easiest way to do this. Does everybody have images downloaded in their folder? Thumbs up if you have images downloaded in your folder. You're ready to go. Okay, because now we got to cut this guy. I want to cut out only the body of Sergio. So today's lesson is how to do Gimp and how to cut these guys out and put in a transparent background. We've done this year. You guys remember that? I've showed you how to do this. Who already knows how to do this? Jade? Who doesn't know how to do this? Who doesn't remember how to do this? All right, so this is why we need to review it again. So the easiest way to get this guy open is to go right-click on it and say Edit with Gimp. Did everybody see how to do that? Thumbs up if you have your picture open in Gimp. Might take a while because Gimp's kind of a big program. I don't really like my background image. I'm going to change that. You guys with me on that? Maybe I'm going to change that while that's working. You can't even see my guy. There's too much going on there. So canvas, background image, none. And there's Sergio. Okay, so can we see Sergio in here? It's really hard, isn't it? 96 by 96, yeah. So we want to get Sergio bouncing around the screen. Okay, and I want you guys to notice this. My picture is 96 by 96. Is Sergio very big in here? No, because there's so much space around him. You guys with me on that? So you want to maximize the size of your sprite by getting rid of as much as you possibly can. So I'm going to show you how to crop today and make it look really good. All right, back into here. Let's go. Let's go back into Gimp. So here's my Gimp. Okay, we'll refresh this if you guys can't remember. Okay, you need to go to Windows. Windows is my one-stop shop. I go to Windows, New Toolbox, and I go to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, Layers. Very, very important 2 toolboxes that you need open. Thumbs up when you have that. I go to Windows, New Toolbox, Windows, Dockable Dialogues, Layers. Took me a while to figure that out, but once I figured this out, this made my life easy, and that's why I'm trying to teach you guys the shortcuts. Okay, there are other ways of opening up toolboxes. I think you can go to Tools and Toolbox. That's fine if you want to do that. I just like Windows because there's 2 of the things in there. I think this toolbox gets it open also. If you go to Windows, Layers, okay, Windows, New Toolbox. All right. So I just learned to go to Windows, New Toolbox, and Windows Layers, and boom, get it open. Okay. Who's with me so far? Thumbs up if you're with me. All right. So I'm going to show you 2 techniques today in Gimp on how to cut this guy out and put in some transparencies. Number one, I'm going to start with the one I don't like. The one I don't like is scissors, okay? So you can go click on your scissors tools. Anyone want to guess what scissors does? Cuts it out, yeah. So you can start down here, and you just start clicking around his body, and the scissors tool will automatically do the bending for you because it has color recognition in there. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I really don't. And if you want, you can blow this up, okay? Do you see like right here how it didn't bend very well? Don't like that. See, it just, and like right here, it's gonna have like these little like, I don't know, it's not straight and clean to me, okay? So if you were to do the scissors tool, okay, you're going to come down and you want to come back to the very first dot that you started with, click on it, and then you double click in the middle. Okay? Once you double click, you then get the jagged dotted line around the outside. Does everybody see the dotted line? Okay? Once you see the dotted line, you got to click twice in the middle. You're going to get the jagged dotted line. And then you're going to go to select, invert, and hit delete. Okay? And it got rid of his entire background for me. Okay? And then we could come over here, add the alpha channel, pick the white, and hit delete. And it's going to delete that. All right? Now, I don't like the scissors. Okay? So, I don't use the scissors tool. I use the free lasso tool. Does everybody see the lasso? Does everybody see that like rope with a knot up there right next to, right above, or right diagonal to the scissors? Everybody see that? Okay, that's the tool I like. It's called the free select tool. By the way, does everybody know that if you put your mouse over top of any tool, hover there, it just gives you what it does? Okay, thumbs up if you got that. All right. So I don't know why it's not backing up all the way. Let's go back here. By the way, I've learned this too, that if you can't get something off, go hit your select tool and just ground it on the gray area. Okay, just click on the gray area until everything turns off. Does everybody see the top square up here? Top square, double click a couple times. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start cropping right away, because it's just not giving me enough room to work, and every time I blow it up. Okay, so I'm going to start cropping right away. And there's Sergio, okay? Now, I'm going to use my lasso tool, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. But what I like about this is this lets you control all the straight lines. So I just click, and you guys see how I just click around his edges? I click, I go around his body. And this is going to allow me to go around the hat. And guys, this takes a little bit of skill, okay? You know, I didn't get good at this overnight. You know, I've done this 6 times a day, every day. Or not every day, but you know, I do this a lot more than you guys. This takes good mouse skill. By the way, I highly, highly recommend using a mouse on this when you're doing Gimp. And you guys, you're going to get better as you do this. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. So I'm clicking around his form, around his body. I go around his foot. So just relax. Be nice to get a cup of coffee, sit and relax, and do some Gimp work. Okay, can everybody look up here because I'm getting ready to finish. Once you get to going around his body, you have to come back to the first dot. If you do not come back to the first dot, it will not give you that zigzag all the way around. See how it has jagged edges all the way around now? If you don't come back to the first dot, it's going to keep selecting forever. Are you with me? So you have to make a mental note. Where did I start at? I started at his left shoe. Actually, that's my left, his right. I started at my left shoe, went around, and came back to the left shoe exactly to the first dot. If you don't, you're going to get frustrated, and it's going to keep selecting forever. Come back to the first dot. Can everybody say first dot? Come back to the first dot. Okay? Once I do that, can everybody look up here? You're going to go to select and hit what? Let's say I don't do select invert and I hit delete. What happened? I just deleted my guy, right? Is that what I want to delete? No. So I don't want to delete Sergio. What do I want to delete? The background. So you got to go select invert and hit delete. Okay? And now you can right click, add the alpha channel, go over and color select the white and hit delete. Okay? Now, that's cool. Who's playing music? Control Z this. Now, I have this happen all the time. Let me show you a quick trick. Who's got music on? Can you turn that off? Yeah. Select invert. You hit the delete button. People ask me that all the time. You have to. There is a key on your keyboard that says delete. Does everybody see the delete key? You have to hit the delete key. Okay, now, let's say you guys had LeBron James and LeBron James was wearing a white uniform. Are you with me on this? Can everybody look up here real quick? I'm going to show you a trick just in case you select. Like, do you guys see Sergio's white shirt here? When you color pick, okay, when you color pick this, it's going to delete anything that is white. And sometimes you guys, he might have white socks on or a white jersey on. Are you guys with me on that? You don't want to delete the white jersey. So here's a trick that I've learned. Can everybody look up here? There is the paint bucket. Does everybody see the paint bucket? So what I'll do sometimes is go get a paint bucket and go get like a funky color pink that's not in there. Okay? And I'll take this and fill the background with pink. Everybody see what I just did? Now I have an entire background that's pink. Now I can color pick the pink and hit delete, and it won't delete any of the white in their jersey. Okay? And now once again, if I was you, do you guys see how there's a lot of gray in here? You see how there's a lot of checkerboard? There's a lot on his right side, there's a lot on his left side. You want to minimize that as much as you possibly can. So I'm going to use my scalpel tool again. I'm going to start at the top of his golf club. And I'm going to put in a box and get it as tight as I possibly can to each right and left side. Okay, without deleting anything. 9 minutes left. Okay, once I get my box where I want it with my crop tool, I double click and it crops it for me. And I'm going to go File, Export As. Everybody say Export As. You have to do a File Export As. I'm going to say this is Sergio with alpha channel. Can it be a JPEG? No. What do you have to save it as? A PNG. This last three letters has to be a .png. You're going to hit export. You might have to hit it twice. Make sure your save color values for transparent pixels is off. Everybody say off. Off. And then you hit export. Okay, that puts it back in my folder. This is why I love right-clicking. Okay, because now I can go back to my app, and here's what I had before, right? Is this what I had before, Kimberly? Yeah. Now watch. Let's put in the new Sergio and see if it looks better. There he is. Now look how big, look how much bigger Sergio is now. See him? Look how small he was over here to the right. Look how much bigger he looks. We actually can like see that he's a golfer. Before it looked like an ant. So I'm going to click on Sergio with alpha. And there it is. There's Sergio. Okay. His width's kind of wide, so I'm going to go to a width, maybe 48. There you go. There's Sergio, and now I can have Sergio bouncing around my screen. Okay. All right, now we can go get some fun backgrounds. I really didn't like that one at all. So now you can just go out, and that's today's lesson. That's it in its entirety. Try to do that. I can answer questions once I get a cool background here. What would be a good background for Sergio? Yeah, this is one of the signature holes there. It's got that beautiful, gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? View image. This course is gorgeous. Right click, save image as JPEG. Can my background be a JPEG? Canvas background. Is your background image allowed to be a JPEG? Yes, because it doesn't have transparencies, right? What is that? Okay. Now, I don't know if that's going to look right with, him being up there, but we're going to have Sergio bouncing around the screen here. Does that look pretty cool? Yeah, that looks pretty nice. So in our next app, Sprite Smash, we're going to have Sergio, or whoever you want, your sprite, bouncing around the screen, and it's going to be like whack-a-mole, and you're going to press it and get points. Okay, just like whack-a-mole. Okay, so today you learned how to do some Gimp, how to add the transparencies, how to crop. You have the choice between scissors and lassos. Who likes the scissors? Okay, some people like it, some people don't. Who liked the free select better? Okay, I like free select better. I don't know why, it's just my personality type. Maybe it's a little bit of my OCD coming in where I want it to be exact and perfect. And by the way, when you do cut him out, can we get it to look pretty good in your app? Let's go back and look at our app. Does Sergio look pretty good in this app? Yeah. Okay. I cut him out, and Sergio looks pretty good. Okay, there he is. I think it looks great. Okay. By the way, here's some other cool stuff. Since we got a few more minutes left, let me just kind of play around with this in Gimp. Let's say Sergio's not facing the right direction for you. Can everybody look up here for a second? I can flip Sergio. Okay. You right click, you go to image, transform. Everybody say transform. And if you go to transform, I can flip him horizontally. And now he's a left-hander. Okay, and he's facing the other direction. You guys see what I did? You can right-click, go into image, and transform, and you can rotate them clockwise. You guys with me on that? Okay. Do you guys remember we did the arrows? Remember we did the arrows this year? And all you have to do is find one arrow and then rotate it. Okay, so we've already done that this year. Let me go back and do that real quick. I got a few more minutes. Let me show you what I mean on my arrows, okay? Yeah. Oh, when you're on the internet? Okay, so let's go over saving again. All right, you don't save. Number one, we don't save. Okay, what do in Gimp? We export. We always export because Gimp is a server program. Everything saves onto the server. You don't have it on your computer. So you want to save it into your file folder, right? So you want to go File, Export As, and that's where you give it a file name. Okay, here, I'll do this again. I'll go Sergio with alpha 2 dot png. You have to have a png if you want transparencies. Are you with me? Export. I have to hit that twice. Make sure your save color values for transparent pixels is off. Can everybody say off? That button's got to be off. Guess what? If that's on, you do all that work, it's still going to have a white background. Okay? So don't do that. Here's what I do. I go off, and then I hit Save as Defaults so that it's always off. And then I hit Export. Okay? And if I save it like this, guess what? He's going to be sideways. Right? So Control Z. There he is. File. Export as. Sergio with alpha 2. Okay. What needs to be off on the checklist? Okay. File. Here, just watch me for 1 second. Don't do it. Just watch. Okay. My computer just went really slow. All right, so File. Do you see Export As about halfway down? Okay. And you're going to export. I'll say this is Sergio number 3.png. Are you with me? I'm going to hit Export. Might have to hit it twice. The bottom box here. Morgan, can you look up here? Do you see this box that comes up? This is the export image as a PNG box. The very bottom one, it says save color value. It's the longest one. It's almost like a sentence. Save color values from transparent pixels. That has to be off. Did you get that, Morgan? Off. Do you see that? That has to be unchecked. Then I hit Save Defaults, and then I hit Export, and it throws that into my file folder. Okay. Let's see what Sergio would look like as a lefty. So we'll go Image, Transform, Flip horizontally, File, Export As, number 3, replace. 60 seconds left. 60 seconds left. So then let's go see what Sergio looks like as a lefty. So then I go Upload, choose a file, and there's 3, open. And that's what Sergio looks like. Give it a second. If your image doesn't load, it's probably because you have the wrong file type. Maybe you downloaded something from the internet that was an HTML file. Maybe it was an XCF file. We don't handle those, right? Or maybe you have parentheses in your file name. It will not handle parentheses in your file name. Okay? Who learned something today? How was that speed? Did we go all right? Was it good? Okay. You've got this video out there if you want to watch it and use this again. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.